Hallelujah. Hey, hallelujah. Give it. Hallelujah. The highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hallelujah. Give me the highest praise. In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give you the highest praise. Hallelujah to my King. Hallelujah to my Father. Hallelujah to my Jesus. I bow before the throne. When I look at all the wonder and I see all the creation, the beauty of the universe, you never, never change. You never, never lie. You never, never change. You never, never fail. Hallelujah to my Jesus. Hallelujah. 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 Hey, hey. Hallelujah. Give it. Hallelujah. The highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hey, I'm not afraid, Jehovah. I'm not walking, Jehovah. It deserves the praise. I'm not praising. It deserves everything. Oh, the worshiping. Oh, he gave me life. I will praise his name. I'm here to praise my God, because he gave me life. Come celebrate, come jubilate, come now worship him. He deserves the praise. Hallelujah, giving the higher praise. Hallelujah, giving the higher praise. Hallelujah, giving, hallelujah, the highest praise. Hallelujah, giving the highest praise. Hallelujah, giving the highest praise. Ooh, hallelujah, oh yeah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah to my Jesus. Well, good morning. Good morning. Let me make sure here the mic is on. Okay. All right. I believe the audio is good. And good morning. Good afternoon. It's a little after 12. We want to welcome you to this program. As usual, we're here Thursday, and Thursday is All Things Considered. All Things Considered is an informative news magazine, comes a way to give you the voice to be able to express yourself, speak things on things that happen in your country, in your neighborhood, and as to how we can eventually hold ourselves responsible to the impact, the inflations, our talking point, and the things that we put out there, which most of the time too are now also facts. But all of that in this combinations, we designed this program purposely to give you the voice. Good afternoon to all our viewers and listeners across the globe, wherever you are this morning, this evening. We want to say welcome to today's program. So just do us a favor, hit the share button. For some reason, I'm not sure whether it's a sanction from the Facebook or whatever it is. My share button has been missing for quite a considerable time now. Sam Barrett, Mr. Slangat, good afternoon. Welcome to this talking point. All Things Considered is every Thursday right here on the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We'll look at events from Thursdays to Thursdays and give you the opportunity to see what matters and what you think about your country, what you anticipate, and what you want your government to do. And you as an individual, as a citizen, we also have a responsibility. We do have a shared responsibility to do what we should do as a citizen. Well, the story in neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire yet to come to one end. In the interest of African solidarity and sympathizing with what is unfolding, even though it has not gone over the roof, which we anticipate, it shouldn't be, because they are our neighbors, they are our African brothers. Let me take you to neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire. I was in Côte d'Ivoire as well. They are friendly people. They have their own little conjunctions, little bit there as we are in Liberia, but they are good neighbors, right? So in the interest of African solidarity, let me take you to La Côte d'Ivoire this morning.
Les 10 filles et fils de la commune de Diglo, soyez unis et indivisibles pour mieux agir dans le sac blanc. Paix développement dio, BBS pas mais Diglo d'abord dio, Paix ben sévère pas si beau pour la mairie. Ben Sévérin, tu as attendu ta prière et il t'a exaucé. Bienvenue, monsieur le maire. Samy Dola, mon arrangé au cœur blanc. Maman Mariette, président du fan club BPS. Babo Siei Oswald, Bossi. Ah, pas mais oh. Ben Sévérin, oh, pas mais d'aimer oh. Quand tu vois yo, bébé, pas mais oh. Yesi a pasi bome o, we honoré ase o, capitaine qui bio valé ase o, comité qui mou ase o, président Robinson ase o, président Basio ase o, président de Michel ase o, maman Bae Dorothée ase o, Badie madame le maire se m'a non po, Mado wa podu qui dia e m'a non po. Avant son arrivée, il a été annoncé. Celui qui doit sauver Diglo est de retour. Le peuple enjaillé, tout Diglo est debout. Comme Jésus arrive à BPS, armée de paix et de développement. Il dit entre ta vérité et ma vérité, oh, il y a celle du peuple, oh. C'est la vie Diglo d'abord. La pierre rejetée est devenue la principale, oh. Ça n'est pas mais d'aimer, oh. Diglo, quand il plaît, tout le monde nous est exilé. Les doigts, ils y avoir de vie en tranquillité. Ah non, le maître de Vietnam, Diglo d'abord. Nous sommes dans la réconciliation, dites-moi, pour tout le monde à faire se réunir, nous. Après nous un péché, pourquoi moi les uns qui croient et les autres couillent? Ah non, le maître de bien la cohésion sociale. Eh bien, ni tout à son, tout à naison, comment tout à son. Y'a les secoués, moi qui beau. Y'a payé lutter, nous dit quoi, c'est à débat. Le développement national est dédié, oh. Bébé, y'a pas mère, oh. Tout au oui bon et moi de mérignon si un citoyen publié on se fait rien serrer nous oh ah ouais on pourquoi pas on dit à qui I just wanna thank you thank you thank you I just wanna thank you thank you thank you.
Okay, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. If you are in other parts of the world, if you're right here in the USA, we want to say good afternoon and welcome to this program. Today is the 29th day of April 2021. The year is quite and pretty well accelerating. Good morning, good afternoon, to welcome to this edition. I'm Afonso Zienso right here at the New England Bureau Desk of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We hope to join our correspondent from the southeastern side of Liberia, Maryland County, to provide developing news to verify and validate those information. Well, the situations in Africa is the uncertainty is still ongoing. For the first time, the security forces of the government of La Côte d'Ivoire to release a video footage all morning, night were in conversation with folks in Abidjan and other cities, Dalawad and other places. Well, the fear still seems to be within Liberians, and talking point is unfolding in Ivory Coast seems to be a divided political house, as it is in the case of every country in the game of politics. Well, we're going to be playing this video. For those of you who don't understand French or whatever it is, for an interpreter, we will give you a little brief as possible as we can. But it seems to be a divided house, and it is still unclear as to whether the government of Liberia has dispatched a delegation to neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire to help in a bid to stabilize the situation. Well, courtesy of a Ivorian local television channel yesterday evening released this footage. Some of the pictures that we receive in keeping with the community services rules and policies of Facebook, we are unable to display those pictures here. But let's watch this video footage and I will be right back.
L'attaque du bataillon projetable des forces armées de Côte d'Ivoire d'Abobondo-Tré survenue.
Let's see here, our guy, Gus Youngs, is our Southeastern International correspondent, is based in Harper City. That's Maryland County in Liberia, is here with us. So let me just bring in, and we're going to come right back to this video here from Côte d'Ivoire. Let me bring in Gus standing by in Maryland, Harper City. Gus, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks. I'm happy to be on the platform today. Alfonso, so happy and like to say good afternoon to our many followers following the broadcast, and good morning wherever you are, depending on time.
Okay. Okay, right now, my guess you are based in the city of Harper, correct?
Yeah.
Is that yes?
Yes. I'm currently in Harper.
Okay.
Just one of the areas, the townships that is called Philadelphia Township in Maryland.
Oh, Philadelphia Township, that's awesome. Everything about Liberia is about more or less correlation with America. Maryland, Township, Philadelphia. Okay, that's great. Okay, let's go inside Harper and the southeastern side as far as you are concerned. There are other developing news relative to the security forces recently sent in Harper or Maryland is in Varon as a result of the murder of a motorcyclist, I believe. What is happening? We're hearing the security forces are whining and complaining. What are they complaining for?
Well, the report is that March 25th on a Thursday, when a motorcyclist who was also a student of Plebo High School in the 12th class, body was discovered in Bessican Town, a town between Grand Coup and Maryland counties. So, aggrieved cyclists, in solidarity of their fallen comrade, staged protest 3 days and disrupted the county, so to speak, vandalized the police station, including destruction of public and private facilities in this part of the country. And their protest action were being reinforced by more than 4,000 rural women mothers residing in Maryland County comprises of the issue that has to do with the districts, Plebo, Harper, and Dallas Callaway, as far as by Robo. So the government of Liberia tried to get involved into the process to restore kind to the county because Maryland was shut down temporarily for like 3 days. Schools and being disrupted. So when the government provided the opportunity by sending Chief, talking about the UPSU, AFL, police, and you just named that John Security came to calm down the situation to restore peace to Maryland County. So they been around when the curfew was announced or being pronounced by the president, and recent time it was also like being adjusted from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It was adjusted to 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then of most recent, the curfew finally being lifted by His Excellency Dr. George Weah by his directive, giving the instruction to the Justice Ministry to come out for decision that the curfew should be lifted. Couple of days in Maryland County, those security, John securities, the police started raising up serious alarm, complaining about hunger. We have some interaction with them. What we have gathered so far, the police are alleging that the government, the security or national government or police authorities informed them that indeed they were coming to Maryland County for at least 10 days. So each of them were received $17,200 as DSA. They were interested to know that according to them, they have spent more than 18 days right now in the county, and some of them really never had a plan. It was not something being planned and discussed to come to the southeast. While it is true, this is a national mandate, and they signed off an agreement to do this work with their passion. While in so doing, the government, their police authorities, you see the need to give them the full support. Some of them said they went to work, and that day their bosses just came and said, "Oh my man, you got to get on board. We're going to Maryland," and that's just how some of them came. So when they arrived in county, they had to like buy toothbrushes, clothes, and every other things that they need. They had to pay for it within that 17,200 liberty. And some of them
So,
who say they got
so
family,
Bob, let me hold you there. What is the equivalent that in US dollars? We're talking about 17,200. How much is that approximately? Do you think?
17,000 with the rate on the two right now, it should be I think $100 US. Because
$100 US.
the rate in Harper right now is 170, 172 some places, but the highest rate in Harper now is 172. So it should be approximately 100 United States dollars, or
Wow.
maybe less than that. Yeah, but so that's what they received, and some of them said they had to send portion of that money to their wives and children, family back home. Now things not fine with them, so they confronted the county superintendent, George April. So on Monday, there was a meeting called by the county superintendent where he invited partners, talking about partners in health, MOPP, CRC, the Caritas, the marketers, men and women in this part of the county. They were all at the Harper's administration building, and he presented the situation that the people are actually crying, complaining for hunger, and they need to be. So we started talking to them all around the county. They are like complaining on the situation. And in fact, the guys gave you information that is so scary. The man is saying that you know that police so you're meant to get gun and to be hungry for a couple of days. It's not at all. But because of peace and they love Liberia and they're trying to avoid anything that will embarrass them and destabilize the peace of our country. So they are calling on authorities to see reason to support them into the process. With unconfirmed report, according to them, some of their
Hmm.
colleagues, they got the information that the police planning to allow those that are currently in county to remain here as an area of assignment, and they're going to be like the riot chief in Maryland County to combat any situation within this region. So the guys are saying if that is the case, the government is starting, there is a need that they go back home, prepare themselves and come back because can't be restored in the county. But they could not come in the county being here for a particular cost and their objective being met already. Then the government want to keep them here, especially national police authorities will keep them here and not trying to address some of their major concerns. So that's what they are saying around. Um, we try to get in touch with the resident police on the ground, and the guys seems not to be giving us the kind of information we expect. However, so those that actually affected who raised up the major alarms and concern, they have given us several other informations about what we're talking about right now, so to speak. the joint security, those on the ground now are complaining, crying for hunger, and the legend of being abandoned by national uh, authorities.
Okay, this is quite interesting. What we also try to do a follow up here to validate this information from police authority from central headquarters. But I know they will not allow that because of security purposes. How many persons are we talking about? Do you know how many men or women that were dispatched in Maryland at the time? Do you know approximately?
No, quite frankly, I can't give you the actual number of security that joint security, and the guys were like counting their numbers because the situation actually went out of hand. So they were counting their numbers, honestly. But to be frank with you, the number actually reduced. They are not in the huge number they came with right now. Some of them went back. So the few that are on the ground now in the county, talking from Plebo, Callaway to Harper, those are the ones raising up the major concern.
So it's like what they are hearing, it seems that they want to have them stationed in that region permanently as a new assigned post or guard, if you will. That seems to be the conversation. Is that what they are hearing from their leaders?
Certainly right. The leader officially have not spoken to them, but they said, some of their colleagues who are also on the ground here went to town. Uh, there is a discussion ongoing in Monrovia, and some of their colleagues are like giving them the information that, oh, this is what the authorities deciding upon. So that's the latest from their end, but yet it's yet to be confirmed according to them. But some of their colleagues are giving a hint that discussion on the way that those that are already in county will remain here, right or truth assigned in this region. But they are saying they don't have problem to be in Maryland, but they need to go back home, see of their family, and come and take up their new assignment rather than come here, don't have money, and their family back home. They to the area, and the area is so expensive and very far, and all that kind of thing. That's a major concern.
So what are you gathering based on the meeting that was held with the superintendent? Is there any action or agreement reached by these men and the county authorities with the national government? Any information?
We have not gotten any official statement from the county superintendent as to whether he has gone.
Well, folks, just bear with us. He's way out there in Maryland. That is Harper area, the southeastern side of Liberia. And so let me see if we can get it off of the line. And if it is improved from the backstage, we'll be able to bring in. That's Gus Young, Liberia Public Radio national correspondent based in the southeastern side of Liberia, today in Maryland. Harper. Okay, let me see here. He's okay. All right. Are you good now?
So,
yeah, no.
Like I was saying, that's a fluctuation of the network.
Yeah, we understand. It's
like I was saying, there is no, we have not received any official statement from the county officials yet. Superintendent George Lpr has not spoken officially about making some declaration or maybe getting report from national government. Well, but they said they met with him, and because of their request, that was how that meeting was conveyed. And the discussion into that meeting was requesting to partners to support the security while they are on the ground and waiting or looking forward to national government or the relevant authority to address their major concerns.
Wow. Well, we hope something is done in that regard. What are you hearing? What is the information that Maryland also borders with Ivory Coast, right there, Taboo, and I believe San Pedro or whatever border range there. What is the information from our Liberian side based on what is coming from Cote d'Ivoire there? And then security been pouring a light on us movement of force troops and stuff like that. And any indication? All right, I believe the network there is having some issue. All right, well, did you hear my question?
No, sir, I didn't get you.
Okay, I was wondering what is the atmosphere in Maryland? It borders with La Cote d'Ivoire too, right there, with the prevailing situations. And then Liberian crossing coming over from Cote d'Ivoire?
Well, We actually, to be frank with you, since the situation from Abidjan, we haven't heard or have noticed as to whether people crossing or not. But of recent, the joint security assigned into this region because of the situation, security being assigned to the border entries because, like we reported some time ago, um, about 91 inmates left the prison compound because of the vandalization, right? So the securities, and especially those inmates, some of them were hardcore criminals who apparently were sentenced for lifetime imprisonment. And because of the situation now, they are outside. So securities were all around assigned to the border. So as a related situation from Abidjan, Ivory Coast to speak, my understanding is that security are also being assigned to the border, and perhaps there should be some mechanism put in place to restrict or regulate the issue of movement. But we have not heard any report about influx of Liberians residing in Abidjan or Ivory Coast to have come or coming back home. But we've been getting speculations around that some fear among residents of various towns and villages in neighboring country Ivory Coast, especially with respect to the situation. Specifically, Liberians who are residing there, we are getting unconfirmed report that fear, some discouragement, and several other things. But to see people coming to say, oh, Liberians are running away from Abidjan, actually, I don't have any information as such.
Okay, all right, go. And we don't even hope or pray for that. We hope everything there is stabilized so that Liberians that are living peacefully are also making their ends meet on their end. They will do what they are doing. So the president left Maryland. The other side, he's expected to go to Sino enterprises. What is the talking point? What the folks are saying? Is there some sort of kickback? Is there some sort of gaining of ground of the president visit? Anything been felt there since the president left? Been put in action?
Well, for the Southeast, to be very frank with you, and other counties, since the president took off the tour, he started his visit across Liberia. Many persons are commending the government of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George Manawia, for the decision. And most of those areas he visited recent time, everything he's making impact and affecting the lives of the people positively with respect to the issue of electricity, installing of light poles, solar plates, giving money out to less fortunate people, several other institutions, youth groups, and partners, and whatever. Because of the sense of the president or a movement into other areas, especially like, for example, River G, where the president visited, and according to what we have gathered, the president actually condemned several other structures, especially a house in River G that is called the guest house in River G for government officials and other partners, high profile individuals to be lodged. That area is not actually, according to the president, it does not represent, a guest house owned by the government of Liberia. So he even advised that the project or that structure should be demolished, where he's going to build a modern structure. And the road project that's ongoing, that have been delayed for a couple of a little while now, for several reasons. One has to do with the construction of several major bridges, like 3 to 4 bridges connecting River G and that of Maryland, which served as a major factor to delay the road project, and the issue of the heavy food of continuously falling in this region. Currently, as I speak to you, the quota actually passing through Facetown now. It has gone as far as the Facetown Referral Hospital, leading the direction to go to Kanwe. And many persons, residents of this part of this region in Kanwe, in fact, so to speak, since River G became counted March 15, 2000, under the regime of former Liberia president, Dr. Charles G. Taylor. People are saying from River G County, they have never witnessed any of partners or intervention made out of our government with respect to electricity. But to be very frank with you right now, Kanwe has at least a good number of posts being installed there with this solar place, and has beautified that part of River G. Coming to Maryland County in Plebo-Solican District, the same thing, but posts were given, turned out to the county officials, and poles were being installed. But many persons are saying the current or the recently being installed in Plebo, it is timely in a sense. It is not making more significant impact, because Maryland County is already benefiting from the West African Power Pool project. Plibo is a major hub that has, I mean, it's a district that has the highest population. Everybody from different parts of, walks of life are converged, get involved in business and whatever. It's a commercial center. And Plibo already has current. So critics are saying the current that the president brought or the solar place, whatever poles, the county official should have taken it to outskirts of Maryland, outstation areas that actually have not experienced and don't have means of having electricity, like Barobo, Callaway. Those are areas that the poles should have been installed or, erected. But on the contrary, it's being like deposited to Plibo Solican district that already has current. So many persons are saying,
hold on 1 second, guys. Let's have a conversation. So hyper the Plibo how you call the place?
Plibo Solican district, Solican district.
Okay, Solican district. So are you saying the West Africans electricity pool system, those places are entire electrified, current is regular there? Is that what you're saying?
Certainly right. In fact, Harper, Maryland County, so to speak, is one of the areas in this has benefited the West African Power Pool project for a couple of years. I can say close to 8 years now. To be very frank with you, Maryland has started benefiting from the electricity. Plibo now, Plibo currently has current.
Okay, electricity as well?
That's why I'm talking about the LEC. It's in Plibo. It's in Plibo and Harper.
So then what was the sort of conversation? Because this has been the talking to Nyombi Kanga, to Lawrence, Senator Kanga Lawrence complained the other day that she had a pause. We hope to verify that information in those same places, poles and other solar panels were erected. So take us in the process there. What was the conversations? If there's electricity in Harper, the other region to district you're talking about, and there are other places that are in darkness, what is the essence of places that are already equipped? You putting more solar panels or erecting more poles there. So what was the conversation that was held in the community or the county officials before coming to such a point?
Well, from what we had, analysis and basic views from residents of both Harper and Plibo, like I said, good number of people have appreciated the gesture from His Excellency that the pole being erected in Plibo, it beautified the district because it's like street lights. The current actually in Plibo, they are not, they are passing through current to other institutions and individuals, right? Private and public citizens benefit. The light posts are there. But the post now by the president being installed in Plibo Solican district it has entire streets and the city of Plibo, so to speak, being left far, which is good. But others are suggesting or like saying that, it would have been prudent enough that those light poles that are being installed new in Plibo, because Plibo already has current and a wire passing all around. So if the government decided that they should have sufficient street lights, they could even use the electricity facility already that is in Plibo. Then those light poles that they brought out of solar plate materials could go to rural areas that the wires have not reached, and
well, just bear with us. He's all the way there in Harper,
people,
Maryland.
Since that area being used, those areas where the area actually that people thought Kawake has never experienced electricity before. In fact, there is no pole. Their pole has never been planted before in Kawake. So for Kawake, the current is actually a very, very important contributing factor from the government. Kawake, unlike Plibo that already has current. That's what people are saying.
So bottom line here, it seems to me, just bear with us. Are you there, Gus?
I'm with you, sir.
Okay. So bottom line here, it seems to me there was no in-house conversation. This is what coming. This is what national government is bringing, to see how it can be apportioned and how strategically it can be apportioned. It seems like such a conversation was never can put in place at all, because it was those places we are talking about, people who have argued, they will have come to a consensus and know exactly how to go about to distribute those posts.
Well, I can that apparently there was conversation because before the president travels for any county, the county officials can be in a know. And my understanding is that the county official, in consultation with the executive team, can actually do a planning to know those areas that
Oh, let's see here. Just bear with us. The network situation out there is kind of horrible. So I saw it gets better back there. I monitor him from backstage. I will bring him on as well. I want to know who all also attended the president. Okay, yeah. All right, guys, are you there?
yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
What I was saying is that I want to believe before the president leaves and travels to any county, his committee or protocol office or whosoever can be in consultation with the county that he is about to visit. And I'm aware and convinced that there might be discussion. But what I can say as to whether the county authority met with items from the districts across the county to agree that the president is coming to visit and he will be going XYZ, I can say he said they did that or not. But all of those things happening, critics are doing analysis about it to say it has been politically driven, right? For example, Plibo Solican district is a district that House Speaker Dr. Bova Chimos hail from. He's a representative of that district, all right?
Mm.
And Plibo Solican district, like I said, is a commercial hub. So politically, many persons are trying to, come up with this, analysis that apparently it has some political undertone for some other reason why, but the idea is that they are saying it would have been prudent enough that those current or light poles would have been distributed to rural areas that have never experienced electricity before, than areas that already has current, and that subsequently every household would definitely have access to or benefit from the electricity rather than other areas.
Oh, wow. So, oh my goodness, the internet system there is a little hell on earth, but we manage. Before we let him go, just want to ask him a few things before we can let him go as well, because that was another talking sticky issue. How many of those within the opposition column lawmakers? I wanted to know how many of them are from Maryland County. Are you there? Still having a problem, right? Okay, what? All right, he gone off. But there you have it. That's our man Gus. They're reporting from Maryland. And that is in Harper City, Maryland County, the southeastern side of Liberia. Hopefully, he joins up, and then we'll be able to continue this conversation. In the meantime, let's have a quick commercial break, and I will be right back. Okay, let's see. Gus is here, so let's see if we can carry on so that we can get him. Okay, Gus, what I was asking as well, I know it was some sort of a big issue. The Senator Kanga wasn't present when the president visited Bassa, and her argument was that the executive mansion or the folks they didn't reach out and stuff like that. How many of those from the opposition side lawmakers were in attendance during the president visit? Do you know?
Uh, to be honest with you, I was not in county during the visits of the president to Maryland. But what I know is that they had the House Speaker was present. Talking about opposition, Brown, Senator Blebo Brown, Pima Jure, the people who are actually lawmaker currently of the Maryland caucus, I'm not too sure that both of them were actually in county, but I can really speak in details of that. Subsequently, I'm going to let you know as to whether um, all of the caucus, members of Maryland were actually present or opposition members were present. But I know that the speaker was in county, that which I'm aware he was in county. But to honestly say, because right now, into the House from Maryland, CDC has three lawmakers. You have Dr. Buffer Streamers, People District Representative. You have Honorable Dr. Ase Roland Blelu from Callaway District. That is a Barrable Bell. He's a representative there. He ran on the CDC ticket and won. And then you have Senator-elect James Poppy Barney. So there are three persons, so to speak, who are from the CDC. And P. Mark Jure, Harper District Representative, is actually from the opposition bloc. Senator J. Blebo Brown is an independent candidate, right? So we can say in Maryland County, the CPP has one person being represented to the House because Senator J. Blebo Brown is not member of the CPP, my understanding, and because he ran on as an independent candidate, and officially he has not declared either supporting the CDC or the CPP. So as it stands, we are aware that he remains an independent candidate.
He's
but
still
what
on
I
the
can
back.
say, yeah.
So let's put it into context here. I know it's getting late on your end there.
No, I'm okay.
All the happenings is in the backyard of opposition leader Alexander Cummings of the Alternative National Congress, ANC. Marylanders, what are they saying? I believe he was there quite recently. What is the political strategy here of the ruling establishment? Is ANC, are they getting ground there in Maryland from what you see? Most of their candidates that were in the field, Eric Jiko, who was lifted by Alexander Cummings, he didn't do well, and as anticipated. In fact, there was no primary. I don't know. That was one of the factors. Is that kind of try to chip into the backyard of Alexander Cummings? Is that the strategy here?
To be very earnest with you, Mrs. So, till maybe 2023 result comes out, then we know. But the CPP does not really have a strength in Maryland County. I don't want to say to generalize, they say the Southeast. Maryland County that I am currently, the CPP does not have weight in Maryland County. In fact, from the recent or the just ended elections, quite frankly, one of the reasons why CDC candidate James Poppy Barney, from analysis that we have gathered, actually defeated his colleagues with more than 4,000 plus votes. It is because he also had former Senator Dan Morales into the race. To be frank with you, if the CDC was like going to settle up some other issues and dispute to decide that one of them, because to be frank with you, Senator Dan Morales is from the MPP. James Poppy Barney is also from the MPP. And both of them, there were some party issues and national issues that I don't know what really transpired in details for which the party decided to do it the way they did it, that the both persons were like running. But Dan Morales, the former senator, had to go as an independent candidate because according to several other reasons, he suspended his membership from the party prior to the elections that brought Ambassador George Barnett Weah, and he went in support or solidarity of Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boaka. And since then, there have been dunkling and rankling into the party. But what I'm trying to say here is that if the CPP never really had a dispute or some confusion among two of their key political actors from this region, if they were to decide to say, let's send only Senator Marias and Barney is not running, Senator Barney was not going to run, or let's send only Senator James Barney, to be very frank to you, they are going to really beat the CPP. I'm telling you something serious. They are going to beat the CPP, you know, but that's a reality. I'm telling you, it's just that the way I'm sounding, because they are going to beat the CPP badly. Because can you imagine two sons and strong supporters, and I mean high-profile supporters, government officials from the coalition ran into the elections, and the first person, Senator Poppy Barney, senator-elect, beat all of them with 1,000 votes. Next to Senator James Poppy Barney was former Senator Dan Morales. So just imagine that. You know, that's what I'm saying. So CPP does not really have strength. One of the persons that would have been a formidable force into this election if the CPP would have decided to have maybe decide to bring him on board was Professor Dr. Emmanuel Pope. Because according to what we have gathered, you remember the last time you held the conversation, you invited Honorable Eric Chico here, and I was doing the analysis, what we have gathered in the future in him, and he was partly being apprehensive of that, and maybe he thought like I didn't like him or something personal. No. But the reality is that we in the field, we interact with the people on a daily basis, we talk to them, we are not politicians. So we got this information. Dr. Emmanuel Topo has been one of the persons from the CPP end who has unilaterally supported the CPP in this region, along with another candidate, another young man who also declared his intention but later moved on to support Senator Dan Morales, Honorable Aaron Collins. Those were key supporters and strong actors, people that brought the CPP, to give it a force and a good attraction in this region.
Wow. Okay, so all right. Mr. Joseph,
unfortunately,
to welcome.
So most of their colleagues and supporters got disenchanted, and they broke away.
Okay, let's do a quick survey. Let's do a quick review here before I let you go. I believe Buffer Chambers, current speaker, his job will be at stake comes 2023, correct?
I don't understand what you say. Job will be at stake.
I mean, Dr. Buffer Chambers, there will be an election also for his seat. There are three major elections comes 2023: the presidential,
yes,
senatorial, and also the lower house of government. So, Chambers, what are some of the names coming out? Preparation starts already, so it's going to be like who can run, who can run state. The president will be fighting to continue his job. Some of the reps will be fighting to continue their job. The Senate, you're going to be fighting for their job. So anybody who, if you can't just put it out, you on your own, because the time he's going to take to go lift people's hands, he will need people to also lift his hand. He will be fighting for his own political career. Let's see, our man Mike Dunn is in main studio. Let me just bring in here. But go ahead quickly here. So is anybody standing as a challenger to the number 3 person in the Republic of Liberia?
Well, good evening from your. Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mac.
Go ahead, you, and then I'll bring him back.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know whether you guys are getting me, but my network was somehow breaking in. But I don't know whether you guys are getting me now.
I'm hearing your mic.
Okay. A very pleasant good afternoon from Monrovia here. Painesville, to be specific, where LPR studio is located, is some 12 minutes to 5 p.m. local time here. But it's quite interesting to be on the show. But we were thinking about bringing issues today, but unfortunately, issue of today has to clash with all things considered. But howbeit, so many unfolding here from the capital, actually, guys.
Okay. So let's Young end his point, and then we'll be coming to you. Yeah, Young, go ahead quickly. We have still time here, like an hour plus to go. Yeah, go ahead. Any challenges so far?
Well, we
again, I'm finding it difficult. I don't know what is happening. I don't know whether it's from my side or it is from the setting.
Okay, then let's just move you here. You have to face your audio from your end there. I don't know why. Always having problem. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, Young.
To be frank with you, 2023 is gonna be a serious tough game across Liberia. Yeah, I like the way you put it. You say who can run, who can stay. Okay. So to answer your question is that we are in all confirmed report, and it needs to be thoroughly visited, but it's unconfirmed. Some folks, supporters, and fans of House Speaker Dr. Buffer Chambers are saying that the speaker may like to show his hat to the House of the Senate, while good numbers of his supporters and fans, especially from the CDC, are saying that House Speaker wants to be re-elected. So the thing is, if he decides.
Hold on 1 second. I don't see the strategy here. Speaker, that's a very crucial position, and that's a very consequential, powerful person by virtue of our constitution. Why would is it that he cannot defend his current seat? He wants to go because as soon he goes to of course, going to the upper house is a good thing, but there will be a vacuum. Then there will be a vacuum. So what sort of strategy is that?
So that is why I'm saying it's not official, but folks are saying the speaker wants to retain post and not just to be re-elected as a representative, but he also wants to maintain the position as a House Speaker. So to generalize, the thing is that if he decides to remain as a House Speaker or as a representative to be re-elected, many persons are saying it's going to be a tough game because, quite frankly, there is several other young people coming up from Plebo-Solican district who are really expressing their interest to contest. In fact, one, Mr. Anthony Fiddle Williams, he contested in Plebo-Solican district, and that young man seems to be a formidable force into this election because he's youth friendly, and several people like him, you know. So, but he contested with House Speaker Dr. Baba Chimba, and the speaker defeated him several times. To be frank, Dr. Chimba has a strength in Plebo, Maryland County in general, but 2023 is going to be a tough game. So if he decides to really run for the representative seat, then it's going to be a.
Let's see, where is he running the risk here? The representative seat is more or less contained within a specific confine, you know, that say if you're from in that district, and depending the number of towns in that district, one can still make a guess to say, okay, this is guy here looking strong here. But what would be the risk if you decide to go to the senatorial seat, because that's the entire county now? Is he running a risk in doing that? You based there. Would that be a risk if he did that?
No, it would be a serious risk for him. And to be honest with you, if the speaker, like the unconfirmed report, like I said, if the speaker decide, which I know that he will not want to do that, if the speaker will decide to run as a senator for 2023 Maryland County, then it means that I can just say that the star is definitely going to be jobless after 2023. Okay. Because the speaker.
Yeah, let's get some of our onliners reaction here. This is Mr. Lincoln Tagati. Welcome, Lincoln. This is what Lincoln is tweeting here. President Weah is moving in the right direction, and think will be difficult for oppositions. I can see a very serious breakout in the oppositions after their primary. Is that because of this history of we know of these people? Once it doesn't fall in their column, it's not fair. It's not fair in the photo, and that's why we have more than 22 political parties, because anybody can live from anywhere. You don't need, let's say, passe. You don't need passport. I can leave CPP. I can leave Liberty Party. Go to CDC, MRDP, Rainbow Coalition. Is he making a valid point here? Is the opposition? In the opposition, you are in Liberia. You are from the southeastern side, and I know every vote count. Even though there are specific counties that where we know that numbers can come from to pull you to the finishing line. But in order to also be successful, it's not just only getting the executive branch of government. Even though we know the executive branch do have the absolute power, but you also need people in both houses of government to accelerate or to support the agenda of the president. Is the opposition, are they working aggressively? You on ground there, are you seeing any sign indicators of them also ensuring, because they say, oh, we're not in control. Okay, you're not in control. You need to start working out to be in control of both houses in order. So even though you go when Alexander Kume or Joseph Boyka or whoever they have becomes president and they still don't have any authority in the lower houses, it makes it difficult for the president agenda to go through.
From what we are getting around, we traveled around counties. What we are seeing, to be very frank with you, maybe only God can conclude now and say who's going to win. But I think the opposition found it difficult in 2023 because many persons are seriously disappointed, expressing some level of dissatisfaction. Despite the government has some lapses and challenges, but there are several interventions that people are saying the government actually made in a period of time. Several persons are saying that if President Weah
What are they complaining
actually,
about the opposition? First here, let's look at it. What are they saying? What is not? What are they not hearing or getting from the opposition?
the first thing is that some people are saying the opposition now trying to be very clear to the point that if the government does something positively to acknowledge the fact that the government making other interventions, but the opposition is only looking for negative issues and some ills and challenges in government, especially during the coronavirus outbreak. People actually express serious dissatisfaction into the opposition. I can tell you for free, in Maryland County, there was not a penny that came from the CPP to Maryland. Honorable Alexander B. Cumming, who is a political leader to the CPP, he made several interventions carrying a name called Cumming Foundation. That foundation donated several food items and non-food items in the region, in southeastern counties and other parts of Liberia. But we did not receive any information that the CPP made other interventions. So people were doing analysis during the coronavirus time that this man is part of the CPP. Why is it that the things that he gave is not from the CPP, from Cumming Foundation? And those that came to distribute those things that have been distributed were saying Cumming Foundation were in existence before the CPP, and the Cumming Foundation is a charity group that is involved in all XYZ and like that. So with this situation, they have decided to try to justify, but the thing is, you could not easily separate the name Cumming Foundation from Alexander B. Cumming, who is part of CPP. Now, other institutions in Liberia, for example, let's use the William V. Stubman University as a case study. President, we are declared tuition free, all right, for tertiary institutions owned by government in Liberia, which several residents, Liberians have appreciated, saying that it's a good thing. People that really never had the opportunity and money to go to university now can go to university. And I can give you a clear testimony myself. When I came to Tubman University in 2017, I was a boarding student. I tell you, my fees every semester were always around 600 plus because I was on campus. But when the president, we call it, dropped or did that to waiver, because I was paying $15 US per credit, and $15 US per credit. If I decide to do maybe 19 or 18 credits, since I entered the university, I did all of my credits. I did less than nothing less than 16. All my credits were from 16 up to 19, 20, and to my final time, I was doing like 19 credits. So my senior year, I was doing like 19 credits. I mean, 17, 16, like that. But for my sophomore, I was always doing like 18, 19, like that. I did nothing less than 15 credits since I entered the university until graduation. But I tell you, I was paying like $150 on the dormitory as dormitory fees. My tuition dropped automatically from 600 plus. It came down to like 250, 275 every semester. Can you imagine that? In dormitory fees. So many people appreciated that gesture. That of the other challenges the government, universities, or colleges going through, those institutions are definitely empowering educating children, and those children are the ones going to support and vote who's ever going to be president for this country. People are saying, what has been the interventions of the opposition party or the CPP to governments, institutions, and ordinary citizens? But they're not doing anything, but they're only discussing and just talking, station series of protests and all this thing. What I'm saying is not my own view. Those are views that we have gathered from the field, what people have said, and what people continue to say against the CP. Of recent, we started getting information that, in fact, even after the elections, they just ended elections, Henry Costa was trying to do some basic analysis from all of the areas that the CPP divided us lost. For example, the ANC took the southeastern part of Liberia. The United Party worked in the northern part of Liberia, and Liberty Party was somewhere around the, I think, western region or so, like Grand Bassa or whatever. But all of the areas that the CPP, I call it ANC, took over, I mean, it was like the result being competitive, in a sense that, for example, Maryland County, the CDC candidate won overwhelmingly defeated the CPP. You know, going
Let's see.
to I call it Sino.
Okay, let's see. Let's get to Mike and see what is unfolding from the nation's capital. But besides that, to give you a fair shot, I want you to do a quick run through. This is what Mr. Benda is saying. As a journalist, your analysis appears biased. The opposition is formidable, and nothing can separate them. In fact, the CPP can win upright with the Southeast with regards to population. Come to the United States and see if.
I think the person meant to say without.
Well, I'm just reading. Yeah,
Yeah.
something you gotta
Yeah.
try to come to the United States and see if you can take 19 credits a semester. Okay, so Mr. Bena is saying that your analysis seems to be biased. You want to respond to that quickly before I go to Mike?
Well, I would not like to respond there. That's why he thinks and how he feels about what I say. That's why I make it clear that those things I'm saying here, I'm not speaking my mind. I'm speaking what I have gathered. And those
Yeah,
are things that we are aware of. So
all right.
that's his opinion. That's how he feels. But there are other interesting things happening before Mark will come in just to talk about just today, the JS Sprite United Medical School, which is a mission school in Harper, a student 14-year child was caught smoking marijuana in an unfinished house. He was actually caught by a district commissioner, Honorable while he was on his way to work.
They were smoking what? Marijuana?
And that child, yeah, marijuana.
Grass.
And the child said he started that thing for the past 2 years. Now, when he was 12 years old, he has one of his brothers, his older brothers, who is usually sends him to buy this stuff. One day, his brother asked him to taste it, and since he tasted it, he has been into it. And there are several other kids involved into the process. And I trust you've been following on a national level. Several adolescents are involving themselves into the issue.
Quickly here, how old is this person here? You said no.
14.
14? Wow. Okay. All right. Let's switch 14. To Monrovia. Yeah, let's switch to Monrovia and where Mike Dunn is standing by. Mike, what is the drama in the capital there today? As usual, something somehow, somewhere, either from Capitol Hill to where out of the Pandora bags is always opening. What is unfolding in the capital today so far?
Well, quite bit quiet, not something very serious as usual, but so even though there are so many happenings within the capital here, are you hearing me, Mr. So?
We're hearing you, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm not hearing myself. How be it since you guys can hear me, because of some sorting of stuff, things are not going perfectly with our audio system output. But again, so many happenings, people, opposition, talking about government is to do XYZ, government is not doing XYZ. But they just talk about some specifics. We start with the Millennium Compact Liberia, or the Millennium Challenge Compact, a US-based organization, a grant that has finally come to close in Liberia. We're talking about a 257 million US dollars project that started in 2015 in Liberia. That project has finally come to close. Alfonso, remember this was the project that helped the renovation of the Moncofe Hydro Dam. So this has been one of the talking points here, in fact, because people have been saying that Liberia, while other countries are opting for their second grant, Liberia now has failed to qualify for phase 2 of the MCC grant.
So what is, let me intercept you a little bit. What is responsible? Any explanation being provided?
Well,
why they couldn't negotiate, even though there was a time frame set on this year, 5 years time frame, which is okay, but they could have had the ability to renegotiate for the state to make sure everything. Any explanation provided?
Yeah, the MCC has criteria. They had a scorecard. So for all the past 3 years, Liberia have not, and every year you should pass at least 8 of the 10 scorecards. But over the past 3 years now, Liberia has not been able to pass at least 7 of the scorecards. So as such, the compact board of directors have said that Liberia cannot qualify for phase 2 of the project, and this is a serious blow to our electricity sector. The MCC has been the one spearheading distribution, transmission, and so forth, helping the Liberia Electricity Corporation here. But with the end of this project, critics of the government have been saying that this is going to be a very serious challenge to the government of Liberia because of the ending of this particular grant. And this grant also has some component that did some rural rehabilitation here in the country, and several other energy-related initiatives were carried out by the MCC grant. So it has come to an end finally, and Liberia has the compact eligibility criteria. Liberia has failed it flat. As such, it cannot be qualified for this. To just read some of the eligibility criteria for the compact, it requires a country to score 10. Sorry, not 10 out of 8, but it's to score 10 points out of the 20 points for this compact grant in each year during the course of a particular project. So the scorecard has 20 points. So if each year you have to at least score 10 on your scorecard, but if you can't reach 10, or the person Liberia has been scoring 8, sometimes 7, sometimes 6. So as such, the grant is saying that no, we cannot continue with you. So we have failed. We failed in our scorecard actually. But again, President George Manneh, we had a close yesterday. He has been saying that he's saying that his government will ensure that Liberia can be qualified for phase 2 or for another grant. I don't think whether this is the MCC grant, but he has been saying that his government will ensure that there should be another grant like the MCC.
Okay, I know. Let me see. Let's hold on one second. Let's see before we let Yon to leave. I'm also getting the information. So our guy embedded with the presidential team. They are heading on their way to Sino. The president is heading to Sino here. Yon, let's put it into context here. The move, the government of the president is strategic collectively. We know 2023 is just within our proximity. A lot of people say we stay there 2 years, but it's nowhere here. But the language, the messages of the GOA or the government for all of that. Is that something that is playing? How are they containing the information process? We saw Maggie the other day say was putting out a challenge to Senator Darius DeLong. But the thing here is you have the president that is taking the tour. So your messaging there must be the presidential tour, what the president's going to be doing, some of the things that are going to be unfolding into this county. But these people, they can be contained. Every little thing, the both sides, the opposition, the government, the both sides, they do that. They don't know how to process their message in order for it to resonate. They muddy their own drinking water. As a result, nobody knows what's going on. Are you there? Are you hearing me, Young?
I don't think Young is hearing you.
I didn't get the last thing you talked about.
He's talking about the message. It's not been synchronized as to the president.
The messagings of both the government, the opposition, there are multiple people. The foreign collaboration. I expect by this time they must have a spokesperson besides what their party leaders going to be talking, so that we have a one and condensed statement. The opposition is not doing that. The government is not doing that. Anytime, even though he is the minister of state, he's the chief of staff to the president, you have the minister of information, you have facts versus information on the other side. You have this person, multiple voices always coming. I don't know how they really can coordinate their information processing system.
Well, to be frank with you, I think the government needs to do well when it comes to information management. One of the factors that led to the disruption and vandalization recently in Maryland County was the issue of information dissemination while not being managed thoroughly. It will interest you to know that even the president doing his speech, declaring a curfew, the president make a pronouncement that the guy died in Harper. And the truth here is that the guy did not die in Harper. The man
Wait a
died
minute.
in Besseken town.
Wait a minute. I want you to go over that again.
I said
Hmm.
the government needs to work thoroughly when it comes to dissemination of information. For a couple of years in this government, I think the information team, they are not fully working thoroughly to disseminate information accordingly.
I can say
One
it's
of the
poor.
reasons
Poor coordination.
yes, because mismanagement of information, it creates serious problem and embarrassment. The president of the Republic of Liberia was on his radio declaring curfew in Maryland because of the murder or the gruesome murder of a motorcyclist. Can you hear me, Mr. So?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go
And
ahead.
the president did say the young man died in Harper in his speech. And the reality is that the young man died in Besseken town. That town is between Grand Crew and Maryland. I'm sorry,
So
yeah,
who
Grand Crew
wrote,
and Maryland. And
so who wrote the freaking speech for the president? That's a misinformation. So they don't even fact
that
check anything.
that's one aspect. I just gave you a scenario or case study on some of the issue. The next one in Maryland County, while the superintendent was in Monrovia back then, he was saying that the government is in control or he has an intelligent information to know that this prime suspect, the Moses Lama guy who made a confession, is well safe and he's being kept. Because when the vendor lost a crazy compound, there was so many information around saying that the people, the police, get the man, the police not get the man, exactly get the man. Everybody saying the bought that. Different things are coming up. But the superintendent said the ball was in, safekeeping. He was being kept safely, and the government is aware of that. While on the side, even the county attorney was informing the people that the ball was being captured, and the police also saying that they didn't have control to know what the prisoner is. All that kind of thing was just happening. And people just got the things just happen the way it happened. So when it comes to the issue of dissemination, both the opposition and that of the government, I think President Weah as a person, those are factors that actually create serious confusion and blanket on government or in leadership. In my opinion, the president, actually, when he appoints you to serve in the capacity of whatever position, he expects you to function adequately to the expectation of the ordinary people by his mandate, so to speak, his interest. On the contrary, our people not doing that. And the president now who should have come up with recommendations.
Okay. All right, let's see here.
Like when saying that this person XYZ is not being effective and of the masses, what could be some of the
okay.
I don't know what is responsible for which then cannot take us some other decision.
Okay. Mike, is there anything I want to bring this footage here from Cote d'Ivoire? Maybe 10 minutes will be wrapping. Oh yeah, what's the latest from Monrovia and
Okay, so to just conclude or to just continue on, one of the opposition leaders, a person of Dr. Daniel Cassell, a philanthropist, now turned politician, has unveiled 10 buses, 10 72-seater buses, as part of his own help towards easing the transportation burden that many commuters in the country have been facing. So he has unveiled 10 pieces of a 72-seater buses in Liberia. That was on yesterday. Dr. Cassell has been saying that this is his own initiative. Opposition should not just sit and talk, but they should do something, not just criticizing the government, but they should do something.
So when you say he's unveiled, what is he saying, or what is the party saying? The purpose of those buses? Where would they be running? Will be doing what? Transport, public transport.
Yes, I believe this is a public transport, but it is branded. When you see the buses, they are branded with the People Liberation Party. That's a party of Dr. Daniel Cassell.
10 buses.
So yeah, 10 pieces of 72-seater buses. Is what we're talking about. You know, the Liberian government own National Transit Authority buses. Many of them have not been in good condition now. So as a result, sometimes when you are leaving from, for example, from Pennsylvania to go to town, you're going to spend hours waiting for vehicles to come. So he said this is going to ease the process, and many have been lauding him for this such initiative. Actually, because citizens have been facing some difficulties in commuting from one place to another. So this is why he has been doing this.
Wow. Okay. Hopefully we have reached all of those people to have a conversation with them. Let me play this video here, footage that was released by the.
I wanted to conclude with another one here, where if we can go to before
Okay,
we
yeah,
go to articles. So
yeah, go ahead.
the General Auditing Commission has found some lapses in compliance at the Liberia Revenue Authority own collection of revenue, and so they have been saying that the LRA has not been able to comply with some regulation as per the financial law of Liberia. So Nukwe, who is the chair now, former Speaker Nukwe, who is the chair now on a public accounts committee at the House, have been saying that they will ensure that all other persons that is involved with some sketches or some misapplication of government fund will be brought to book to ensure that the public funding is accounted for. Even though he had been saying that it's going to be a little bit difficult, especially those who were in previous position and they no longer serve such position. So this was what the chair on Public Accounts Committee at the House of Representatives, at the Senate, former Speaker Nukwe has been saying. And quickly, because of time, President George Manawia has donated 30,000 US dollars to ailing publisher Philip Wisse. Mr. Wisse has not been too well now for some time now. So we are, on behalf of his government, did that personal donation on yesterday, so that Mr. Wisse can be evacuated out of Liberia for advanced medical treatment.
Philip Wisse for
yes, the publisher of Inquirer newspaper. Yes, and then quickly, the trial of Gabriel Massaquoi, a Liberian, those people have been saying that he's a Sierra Leonean. Remember, his trial was first here in Monrovia. The judges have now moved to Freetown. So the trial yesterday began in Freetown as part of Gabriel Massaquoi prosecution process.
Okay. All right, let's play this video here, and hopefully maybe 10-15 minutes we can get a phone call here from our people. We need to get a reaction, but I talked to multiple people this morning from Abidjan and Delaware and other places relative to what is unfolding. But before I go to that, is there any developing news as to whether the GOL has dispatched delegation to Cote d'Ivoire, Mike? Is that something you can confirm? Any public service announcement and an updated release from the government of Liberia as to whether there's a delegation in Ivory Coast now?
No, certainly there's been no formal information. I've been in the corridor since Thursday when we were on issues today. We were talking about this. There have been so far no other. I mean, since yesterday when we were talking about this, there have been no other formal delegation to Cote d'Ivoire to see about that actually.
Okay, because message is few government officials, but there's no response. But this is the
Although
video.
I was not on the Ministry of Information press briefing this afternoon. I was not there, but yes, we haven't heard any information coming in regard to that.
Okay, let me just go ahead with this video here. For the very first time, the Ivorian government yesterday, a video surfaced on the social media is in circulation. And I managed to talk to a few friends today. In fact, some of the Liberians that did appear yesterday. Let's watch this and see the images here and see whether it needs to claim the attention of the government of Liberia and what ordinary Liberians are thinking about it as well. But there's a divided house. I was told by some high-profile individual that some senior officials of the former president Alassane Laurent Gbagbo, they are in the process to return to Cote d'Ivoire, and that could be sort of the political orchestration by this government to suggest, as they have been arguing, that the presence of Gbagbo, if Gbagbo is to return to Ivory Coast, there will be instability. But let's watch this, and then we can pick up some phone calls. Just bear with me. Let's see.
Mardi au mercredi dernier, moins d'une semaine après cette attaque, 12 mineurs ont été interpellés à Beki-Preya, un village de Daloa, dans le centre-ouest du pays. Ils avaient fait escale, ils ont été interceptés par la gendarmerie. Plusieurs d'entre eux sont passés aux aveux. Vous les entendrez dans ce reportage de Thiemé Danger.
L'attaque du bataillon projetable d'Abobo-Ndotré livre des secrets. La gendarmerie nationale, recoupant le renseignement de pièces sur la scène du crime, est parvenue à mettre le grappin sur les meneurs de cet assaut contre la base des soldats engagés dans les opérations de lutte contre le terrorisme. Au nombre de 12, ils ont été interpellés à Beki-Preya. De ce village de Daloa, d'où ils ont été transférés à Abidjan, ils avaient fait escale sur le chemin retour à l'ouest, où ils ont été recrutés dans différentes localités frontalières avec le Libéria.
Moi et puis mon frère qui est là, on mangeait dans un maquis, c'est là-bas, le gars il nous a croisés, c'est pas que on est en train de manger plagali, donc nourriture qu'on mange là, un sox là, c'était pas bien, on est en train de parler ça dans anglais maintenant, il y a un qui est venu vers nous qui, ouais, oh, vous êtes les Libériens, il dit oui moi je suis Libérien. C'est pas que mon frère c'est un Ivoirien. Ivoirien et puis mais on a des frontières de troupes, vers troupes là-bas. Il a pris nos numéros. Après ça maintenant, il nous a invités à quelque part que dans un maquis à quartier Maroc. Dès qu'on est rentré, on a vu les boss qui sont assis que non. On a travaillé pour vous. On cherche beaucoup de personnes qui vont travailler pour nous. C'est ce qu'il a parlé.
Le 17, on allait au maquis pour manger. C'est là, les gars là, ils sont venus. Lesquels? À Page. Et puis, premièrement, c'est un Libérien, quoi. Ils sont venus. Il dit que, oh, on a travaillé, on cherche les gens pour faire le travail, quoi. Donc, on dit, ah, c'est quel travail? Ils disent que c'est bon travail. Moi aussi, je ne suis pas venu pour rester ici. Donc il dit, ah, si c'est un peu de contrat, je peux faire et puis parce que je dois me retourner. Il dit oui, c'est pas le travail, mais le temps là, ça ne va pas durer. Il nous appelle. Il dit, mais d'ici, dans tel temps, le travail va commencer. Donc, on a un hôtel ici que vous avez là-bas pour le moment. Tu as vu? On dit d'accord. Ils vont nous donner l'argent. Mais avant qu'ils vont te donner l'argent, il faut signer devant ton nom. C'est peut-être 1 million et quelques.
Épinglés, les mises en cause passent aux aveux et lèvent le voile sur le coup foiré contre les forces armées nationales. Après
la réunion là maintenant, il y a les Libériens qui ont nous montré les armes qu'il y a les missions à quelque part qu'on a coupé ensemble pour partir là-bas. Dès qu'on a vu les trucs qu'ils ont envoyés, moi et puis mon frère, on dit non, si c'est ce travail-là, on vient. On a parti là, 3 sont rentrés là-bas pour envoyer 4 carages. Et puis avec les machettes, les Libériens, il y avait 2. Et dedans, il y avait beaucoup d'Ivoiriens même. Nous, on dormait là, Celui gars-là qui a payé l'hôtel, c'est quartier Maroc. Près de 3 semaines.
Notons que les grandes oreilles de la gendarmerie nationale poursuivent leurs investigations pour retrouver les autres membres du commando et les mettre à la disposition de la justice pour répondre de leurs actes.
All right. Oh my goodness. That was the video released yesterday evening by the Ivorian authorities. But when if you listen to them, what these folks are saying is kind of like, it's kind of hard to process. They are Liberians. This guy met them. Who are you? They were in the kosher eating placardis like a fufu and stuff and things like that. Oh, you're working? No, I'm not working. We have a contract. What is a contract? Or is a good contract? We want to fake you a loan. It's a good offer. You know, but they didn't even tell us as to how they left Tuloplay. Tuloplay is bordered with also.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my own area way that I border with Ivory Coast from the Grand Gide, and then they went to not Moro, Abidjan, Katia Maro. Katia Maro is in Yopougon, by the way. But now they can't tell us the people that are involved. And if this was to be as the government is projecting it to be, while all of these things wasn't unveiled on the first day when they announced it, and I was surprised because it's a serious national security issue for the president of Cote d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara, not to speak to the nation regarding. Because if you say it was an insurgency or people are coming to unseat your government, by the way, the international community people there's a lot of condemnation coming to that because there have been a lot of argument into this whole thing here since the RCC left Alassane to
Ouattara.
Laurent Gbagbo, former
Laurent
President
Gbagbo.
Laurent Gbagbo. The government of Ivory Coast has been refusing to allow him on grounds that it will create a potential security threat. Now to bring these folks out, and they left to the play, and the people took a place in Katia Maroc, and that's how they go. I mean, I'm not disputing the fact whether the Liberians are not there or whatever it is, but I mean, it's just not adding up. So, what is the purpose of that? I believe, and that's why they're calling on the Ivorian government to come clean. With this now it's 12. We don't know, and I spoke to these guys this morning. They are still saying it's a fear, and the good thing about it is because the Ivorian they know, so they know of the political tension in the country as well. And I was told two top senior former officials of Laurent Gbagbo, the opposition issued a statement that they are returning to Ivory Coast no matter what the government says, and that Laurent Gbagbo will also come. So it says some sort of a thing been orchestrated by the government here to justify their argument. Look, we told you that when Gbagbo is coming, when Gbagbo coming here, there are folks with Gbagbo that will cause insecurity. Is that part of it? We do not know. We do not want to run that judgment, but that's the divided house in Cote d'Ivoire, for which that we know most of the people know Ivorian. When it comes to taking action to reprisal against other people because of incident, it's common, but this is not happening. So it is a very, very unusual happening this time with the Ivorian. We know what happened before they in Ghana with the Ashanti Kodoko. We were in Ivory Coast from the Gay Robert and all events, things that took place, and we know exactly how they can be here. But this one here, typical to Ivorians and other radio programs are taking the second thought that the government needs to come out to provide explanation. Now, these 12 are claimed to be some Liberians and Ivorian. They are all there. So why is envoy is not being sent down to get this here? Take it away quickly before we wrap up.
Yes, I think this, like you regularly put it, Afonso, there is something smelling on this, like somebody wants to cover up on certain thing, or someone wants to show the ugly side of a particular individual. From when I observed this whole issue, because from the explanation you said, oh yeah, the guy met us and said we have SYZ operation, but where did they pass and how come, or where did they get the guns and everything from? That was not fully elaborated on. And again, why is it that they were not taken to custody and be investigated? This is actually against the international human rights as well, because again, with the way the information is going around, yes, they have arms and ammunition, and they went to attack. So that going to be the justification that they are giving. But again, looking at it critically, the government like Liberia should not take this to be likely. Government needs to ensure that further investigation is carried out, because your citizen, if they are confirmed to be your citizen, die in that form and manner, quote unquote, being assyrians, is not good for your country.
Right. And we yet to even establish, in as much they will be carrying Liberian passport or Liberian boat, does not necessarily suggest they are Liberians. So this is
Yes,
where the government
you remember our passport system, our passport have been landing in the hands of a lot of foreigners. You remember the saga?
Yeah, and that's, you see, that's the danger of this thing here now. So, and by law, that's the legal document they claim or they have in their possessions, and whatever the document to reveal, that's exactly they're going to be putting out there. This is why it is important. These are all people we're talking about here. This sort of passport saga drama where nobody know how it is ended, or whether the investigation is still on, who are other people responsible. All of these things have security implication, because if it is given to the wrong or lands in wrong hands, if the person goes out there to do anything, in as much his identity carries the nationality of that country, they will come to a conclusion. It is this group of people that are involved, and that also helps to endanger other innocent lives, and that's the situation that is unfolding now. This is why the passport, these sort of documentation, giving it to people, you have to give it to the right people, because if you do any sort of on the side things and give it to people, or people have other places that do duplications of these things and there's no way to check on them, it creates a security implication on the state, and that's the situation we are in. We don't know, even though we say both they carry a Liberian passport, they have license and different documents, but we don't know whether they are Liberian. So unless we will know, until the government presence is filled, and that the Cote d'Ivoire government needs to come clean with Liberia, not just only Liberia, with the international community, with the media. But it is unusual, and that's one of the things I'm taking away here. It is very unusual where you have armed men to storm, or men believed to be armed men to storm a military barrack. One could make a guess. The purpose of taking the military barracks probably then is to seize the seat of government. And for the president, the sitting president of the country, not to speak on that, to give a kind of over briefings on the developing story, and only allow to police, that's where it is unusual. It has never happened like that in Cote d'Ivoire, that for sure, no.
Yeah, again, another thing is, why is it that such a sudden want to attack the military barracks, wherein they are just few in numbers? Looking at the way the military barracks are equipped, why is it that they choose to go to the barrack? Why they can't go maybe at a particular government or entity? Or because this was is that the only government installation ammunition? But it can 4 persons take over ammunition of a particular barrack?
But beyond that point, Mike, it is not just possible for foreign people to just come without then being without having an insider who are there to facilitate the process or the mission. It's just not possible. It is not possible. Let me pick up this phone call here quick here. Hey, Mikey, good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. So how you doing, boss?
I'm good. Well, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I just want to get my little, input on this Cote d'Ivoire saga that is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how this. I think you will let to, you will talk to me about something that I really want to understand. When we were in Ivory Coast and some people get into other things and they get arrested, at the time there was war in Liberia. And so those people cannot return to the country, or they cannot deport them to a country where there's no democratic elected government. And now they got three different administrations, democratically elected government from Taylor Town up to now. And I talked to two people in Cote d'Ivoire saying that some people fled from the prison in or Capitol, and those people were high border criminals. They amplified the place there, and so they found some of them and they killed them. The legal process. If you get a foreigner who is a criminal in your country, why can't you deport them to the country of origin? And you want to kill them? What gives them right to do that? So it's one of the points I want to ask you about. And then I want to advise that the Liberian government needs to act on this thing. It's not simple. It's not common. We all been victims of this. I've been almost enter the grave and come back outside by the grace of God. Entire family. This thing happened. People accuse us of being part of whatever happened, and we were all students, and the people arrested us with fire, and then nothing, and people left. We don't have it. But we were at the point of death in the hell of this guy until one man, who was a sport-loving old man, he was a Jalameri big man. He was the one that stood up against those people. That's why we were not killed today by the grace of God. And those guys can do anything to whip anybody that they want to whip away. Cote d'Ivoire been killing a lot of Liberians. If they go back, there's so many undocumented people that died in Cote d'Ivoire that people don't know about. A lot. Those people that are killing for doing anything. So the Liberian government should not take this thing light. They should be able to act. We got government and their citizens are important. They're just going all around all F11 regional migration, this, that. What makes it important when other people can benefit and we can get the same benefit? We can't get free movement in other countries, but they get free movement in our place. Why? Why the same value the time to them? Our people can get it to where they are too. So the government need to look at this thing. Need to act. People's lives are involved, please.
I know, and you have people doing facts and fiction. They are not telling us the latest information, how many Liberians being incarcerated, what is the level of conversation with their counterparts and all of that. I just don't get it. I don't know at what point that people are going to act. Are they waiting until it's blown off completely, where they say they are picking up Liberians from Dalawa, from San Pedro, from Yamoussoukro, and all of those places? Because the Liberians are everywhere. And I know, but I think here from all indication, from what or the little that we know, and knowing the history of Africa, you being there, and to see that ordinary Ivorian, they are not acting as the way they used to be, is a clear indication that something that seems to be right. Something is something that we need more information. All right, my man, Mikey, thank you so much.
Okay, boss.
All right. Okay, so let me go to Mike. Are you there?
Yes, I'm still here, Alfonso.
Okay, before we take leave, we retire here. What is breathing in the town? What is the new political hand that expected? I know today is what, Thursday, tomorrow, this Friday, and then developing news.
Well, like I said, the normal thing is about just the normal Rigman Road opposition versus government and what government is not doing, criticism, and like I said about this and the leaving of the MCC grant and that of the unveiling of buses by this other opposition politician. So these are some of the talking points that I hear.
A major opposition block error there, because that would be the talking point. I'm doing something these people are not doing.
Kasia is not a major talk. It seems not to be a major or opposition person. Remember, the party was certificated officially this year, and since then, though he has some all hands people who have been with the former ruling party, and even some guys who are from the current party. They have crossed over. I mean, the current ruling party, they've crossed over to go there. So he, he has been a philanthropist. This is how he came to Liberia.
I was talking to a friend. I said, well, this guy want to seek a political office. He said, no, he just doing it. I said, look, these Liberian people, when they start something, they need something much bigger in return. But quickly here, before we go, are we going to see his party, PLP, how they call it, People Liberation Party, how they call it? Are we going to see a transition, be it to the opposition or to the ruling establishment? Is he seeking political accommodation to be in the face of the politics of Liberia, or to turn to be some sort of a deal breaker? Is that what you think want to happen? I'm not sure. Is the opposition, whether they're having an inside conversation with him or the ruling establishment having, because these sort of segments of political institution, it makes it very difficult to put somebody to the finishing line? Or is he trying to create a scenario here to see him as some sort of a political guru that somebody say, well, we need to have cassette in our Dr. Cassette in our column? Is that what is that a path he's on, or what?
Well, the way things are going on, Dr. Cassell seems to be very much serious about his quest to become the next president of Liberia 2023. Mind you, his party chairman is the former chairman of the former ruling party, Mr. Wedmore Pay. And you have the legs of other former officials of the former ruling party. They are also part of this party. And Dr. Cassell has some financial strength, according to some people. So as such, he seems to be very much serious about whatever he does. This is what people have been saying. Though his own goal is that all those people, the Cummins, even the Cummins, all of them, they are not doing anything tangible for Liberia. There's a need for new brain, a neutral person. This is one quest that he has been pushing. He has been saying that all of them, they fail Liberia. So I saw there's
he failed Liberia, and he has accommodated another failed politicians, Woman Pay. So I don't know how you can reconcile that, how you can square that out. Woman Pay is not a new face. Woman Pay has been in the face of the Unity Party, and we know the history. What happened? So they are still recycling these same old people.
Yeah, and that's the irony about it, because Woman Pay being the former party chairman for Unity Party, and he's part of your party, you cannot say he's a new man or he's a new hand. Though you appreciate the quality of
has been very disingenuous, acting like Joseph Boyka, well, Helen Johnson's Salif government, he was packed. Maybe he was not given a proper chance, but yet and still he was part of the process. What was the conversation held before even getting on that ticket for the first 6-year term, and second 6 year to be 12 years? So why will you not trust somebody, or somebody that is not doing something right, and you kept hanging out with that person for 12 unbroken years?
That's the irony about it, because
and I think that's the person place where the opposition found themselves, because he can exclude himself from the process. He can.
Yeah. Remember, Whitmore was expelled from the former ruling party, Unity Party. He went to Supreme Court with the case, and then unfortunately for him, the case did not go in his favor. So he has been how you call it, an expelled member of the Unity Party. So as a result, not many people have been taking him very seriously. Though they are saying that he's a very principled minded, he has referred to himself as a principled-minded person, because I remember when he was then the Secretary General of Unity Party, he was offered some position, and a position at an assistant ministerial position. At the time, he did not take that position.
The reason is simple.
It was small.
Mike, is simple. The reason is because as assistant minister, there was some sort of managerial positions, or minister or deputy. Believe me or not, he would take it. All of these people, they are the same people. It makes no difference. So I don't know.
And
Like I said,
and
they not find a different face, but it doesn't make it doesn't add up as
and he's a new man of black in terms of finance. So I saw now and then everybody is like trying to run there. So this is
yeah.
what has been in.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what happens when you have a country where people can get it to aid those who have the resources. And what we are saying now, financial violence is being applied into elections. And in elections, if you don't have the finances, believe me or not, you'll be led by the wayside. I saw his arrival in Lofa. It was amazing. It was unbelievable. And he was the king of the town. So hey, and any other person can go there, and those same people are going to turn out. So that's the whole danger of the. I do not trust our electorates. I do not trust them.
It's
They come with for you, other person come there
I
for
think
you, and that's all about it.
all boils down to the level of poverty in this country, because
Yeah.
if citizens were quite busy and empowered now, if they have something to do every time, I think there could be some level of where to go, or if you say, oh yes, I'm for party X, that should not be influenced by some form of financial inducement, but it should be from the bottom of your heart, or from the ability of XYZ person, what that person can do for your country, and not what the person can offer you. But our politicians have been they will usually come as a philanthropist. uh like many
Well,
political philanthropism now have become the order of the day in this
well,
country.
that's what the people like. If you don't do that, you can't see your way out. Well, Mike Down, so we're going to leave it here. Time has caught up with us here this afternoon. I want to
Yes.
thank you to evening time from your end. Thank you so much for joining us to add quality to this program. I have a pleasant day.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, well, folks, that's how we're going to draw the curtain down this afternoon here from my end. Mr. Momo, James Momo, thank you for joining us. Lincoln, I'm not sure whether it's your first time on LPR. It was a welcome, of course. Our own man, Bill Carsons is our regular and viewers and a contributor here in terms of his tweets and whatever. We say good afternoon and welcome. But remember, whatever expressed on our Facebook feed is not the view of the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio, but we do facilitate this high call conversation. Mr. Joseph Bernard, you've been very, very much aggressive contributing here. We really, really appreciate that. So far, civility is maintained, expressing to your free will that we wholeheartedly welcome. Please, still, that shouldn't be the end. Guys, feel free to also point out our ills, and that can help us to put us on the right footing. We sit down here over the microphone does not in any way give us the authority to mislead or put out false information. If we did, you have to let us know. And even if all of our people, like you say, you express your view to what our correspondent was reporting, that is okay. We have to accommodate views and different thoughts. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us. I believe first time maybe seeing you or whatever the situation. Please make this network your own network as well. Man Benson, of course, Illinois from the UK. Thank you for joining us, Madam Snaga. Thank you, Sam, and the rest of the folks. That's how we're gonna bring you here. I'm waiting to see both the government and the oppositions where people are going to be delivering strategic speeches as to how they're going to govern, as to how transparency, as to how the kind of government that they're going to have. But I kept hearing the Tana come here, the Tana come here. You guys are waiting until the eve of 2023 to tell us to disclose your policy and anticipate those that are seeking, because we know people that will be weak. We can make a guess those that are seeking, and some of them has made that declaration publicly that they are contesting. So we need to start seeing presidential like speeches to come. You speak on how you're going to get the infrastructure, who are the people that you are talking to, how you're going to revise the economy. It's not just all about, George, we are not doing this. George, we are not doing this. George, we are not doing. You need to start telling us how you're going to do it differently to draw Liberians into your column to see you as a leader. That's why you need to tell us. When you point out the person is, you draw the contrast, and then you put forward a solution. That's how we're going to see the strength in you as a national leader. But when you criticize and insult, and you can't accommodate, and even if your CPP people go to sedition's platform and twist the minds of some of the sedition, CPP people go to a sedition platform and twist, and vice versa, you can do it. But everybody can see eye to eye. Tiny sedition. They did the sedition. CPP people. They are all Liberians. At the end of the day, when you become president, you are the commander-in-chief. So you need to have people that are smart. You need to have people that have the persuasion to persuade people. Don't send people who are supposed to be talking and be making force with everybody in the town. How are they going to bring people? You scare people away. And that was one of the things people went to Charles Taylor. And that's one of the things the war went so bad, because if you can't reassure people of their safety, come over and we'll treat you. That's not the end of the war. You have all right to associate with this party. We are not questioning your political judgment, but it's time for us to come and point out the ills of that party. By you persuading that 1 or 2%, they will go as a crusader to convince other friends that they know. But when you curse and demonize and you begin to tell people this is what you would do when you have not even gotten to the finishing line, you scare and screwed up everything. It's crazy. It's a common public relations and the ability to listen. You listen to those people and they finish say, okay, it's my time to talk. But CPP supporters, they are talk show people, they don't want to see where seditions are. Sedition people, they don't want to see people are. So how are you going to bring people together? How are you going to form an aggressive organization to win people over? If you have the people in your column, you don't need to waste your time on them. You can invest more time or energy or persuasions on people that disagree with you. That's the strategy. But you sit down, you want to go only to your own platform and talk, and people listen, and you don't want to go to the other people. I expected the Minister of Information, Eugene Fagon, to even challenge Mr. Costa. Okay, this is what you say the government is doing. I am willing to come and debate the issue. And like he said, no, don't come on our platform. But everybody get a kind of little thin skin. Everything goes under the skin and it goes into flame like a wildfire. Well, folks, we got to leave here this evening. Thank you so much for your time. And by God's willing, same time, same station, we'll be right back here again with another edition. So I will see you on Sunday, by God's willing, with your informative news program, Freedom Watch. Until then, folks, have a pleasant afternoon, evening, morning, whatever you are. Thank you for your time hanging out with us here at Liberia Public Radio. Please share your comments, your views of our programs, as to how we can improve our programming and other talking points here. We are open to that as well. Have a pleasant. And we're still looking out for female analysts. If you are prepared, not just only any other person who is willing to make their services available to the country, let us know, except you have to disclose your identity, who you are, what you stand for, so that our audience will also be able to know your political affiliation. Until then, have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.
School Zone Liberia, promoting talents through academy.
School Zone Liberia, my creativity. School Zone Liberia.
I want to thank the Lord for this organization of motivation. all through the station. Schools in Liberia. You not do it again, no. Schools in Liberia. Yeah. So get prepared for us. We coming there to your school. If we can sing, dance, and rap, now you we coming you. We here to promote the talent. That been heading for years. We here to promote the talent.
Why are we going? Is that not our community? Yes, that is our community, but we can cross here. Why? We need to go to the junction or crosswalk to cross safely. How? Because the traffic will stop or go slow. Okay, let's go.
Administration, let us help the parents bring the talent out of the children. At school Zoom, there is a way to bring it out, yeah. You don't need to bring discrimination. You don't need to be a rapper with some singers and dancers. And not everybody was born to.
Greta, what are you waiting for? Let's go. No, not yet. What again? We need to wait for a polling instruction. No, we are just full. We need to wait for all us to cross. Okay.
We've been waiting, praying for this opportunity. Yeah. School zone like.
Katwae. What does it mean to be a woman? A black woman, an African woman, a Liberian woman.
To be a Liberian woman is Jiglunu, which means remember. Remember that you are strong because of your experiences and to always be true to who you are. Yakama Jiglunu. Panife Menugaga Nyenyengu Sui. Yawega Cody Lai.
So I'm Alice Johnson Hina, and I'm gonna talk to you on failing and not giving up.
Mwanjama jaweyo, mwanjama iyanjaweyo, mwanjama jaweyo, mwanjama. Kake Liberia Musofindi, Wole Wudin, Ka Anna Talifo, Maliate. Being a Liberian woman means telling our story, our own story with no apologies and authentically.
She brave. Oh baby.
Farafi muso nkolo eminere. Labia muso kolo eminere. Muso lojan.
You are beautiful. Nonjde. Liberians, we have a unique culture, good food, beautiful clothing, music, marriages, languages, how we sit at the table.
Everyone that's looking for nice African for wedding, whatever fabric you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need ashebi, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She have really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then they're going to be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fabric you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and ashobi hand ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fabric Queen on $66.95 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome, 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 welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high-quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products solutions that will make you shine like the queens of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodlands Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrice Queens in Philadelphia is easy insult of the Liberia Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Akwaba.
I just wanna thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanna thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Choisissez choix sans nous boaga c'est quoi des empourés pas même oh a dit super zéro maman c'est de Teresa zéro maman pour Clémentine zéro maman Benjo Charlotte zéro maman Oulé Agnès zéro maman Guillemette zéro Joël Dimitri Oka Cynthia, merci maman fan club BBS. Amical des âgés, Chloé Ben, capitaine Tae Mathieu, Boy Daniel, madame Kouakoul.